So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my navigator. So I'm going to go up to Window, look for Navigator. And what the navigator does is it allows me to move my page around very quickly. And I can see the whole document at a glance, but I can zoom in to fine tune where I want to be and in what position, right? So that is cool. So I want to make sure that I'm here in the methodology section. And what I want to do is I'm going to format this text here and this text to match the other headers. So I'm going to go to my toolbar, click on the direct selection tool and hold it. And then I'm going to select the group selection tool. Now I'll click on methodology. Then I'll click back to the eyedrop tool. And I'm going to click on one of these headers that are already formatted, just like here. And there you go. It takes on the attributes. Go back to my direct selection tool, click on it, and I'm going to go back to eyedrop and click on one of those headers. And there I have two formatted headers that I didn't have to do much work on. So I'm going to go back here to my group selection tool, click and hold that tool. Because I'm going to use this tool pretty frequently, I'm going to tear this off by clicking on this little bar here at the edge of that tool flyout. Click that, move that into place. Now in my navigator, I'm looking at my methodology section, and the things that I need to do here is, one, there's some text missing. There's a line that I need to add. And so in order for me to do that, I need to get the text that's up here in the text section. So I'm going to type in 30% in my navigator, press enter, and then I'm going to frame up the text and my methodology section. What I want to do is I'm going to create a text box here, but I'm going to do it in a different way. I am going to first grab an actual rectangle, and then I'm going to draw a box right here. So I'm going to click right above this and drag. So I click right above here and I'm going to drag and let go. That makes a box. Now I can go in and change the values of this box, but instead I'm going to press delete and I'm just going to click once to bring up the rectangle options. And then I'm going to type in 8 inches wide and 3 inches high and press OK. That gives me an exact box amount that I want. And I'm going to get back to my tool here, my group selection tool, drag that into place. And then what I want to do is I want to use my text tool to convert this from a shape into a text box. Okay, so I'm going to go get my type tool. I'm going to copy my text, edit, copy, or Command C. So I go to edit, copy. I'm going to go here to select. I'm going to get my group selection tool, select that box, go back to my type tool, and with my type tool, I'm going to click right here on the edge of this box, just where it says path, let go, and it converts that into a type tool or a type box. And then I'm going to press Command V to paste all of my letters. Okay, and then if I triple click, I can highlight it all my text. And then once I have that in place, I go to my eyedrop tool, and just like I did for the headers, I'm going to click right here on any of these formatted text options, and my text is formatted. Okay, now I'm going to do the same type of thing down here for this dot, but instead of going with the text box, I'm going to go with a text block. So I'm going to get my type tool, come right here, and I'm going to click once right below the dot. And then from here, I'm going to go into my properties palette. I'm going to center it. And then from here, I need to copy this text and paste it there. So I'm going to copy this text, Command C or edit, copy, come back and highlight this text, Command V, paste. And so what happens is, because this is aligned left, it copied and it aligned it back left. So what I want to do is I'm going to format it first, and then I'm going to change the alignment. So I'm going to go get my eyedrop tool, format it with any one of these text options, click there. Now it takes on those attributes. Get my group selection tool, and I can go over here to align center, and then I can move that right here to change the spacing a little bit. And there I go. Both texts formatted. The last option is to create this line here. So I'm going to use my line segment tool to do that. I'm going to go over here to my shape tools, go to line segment, and then I'm going to drag from the first dot all the way to the last dot. But when I do that, I'm going to look for the center point. So let's zoom in a little bit here. And I can move this right along here and frame that up. And I'm going to use my tool here. Right when I get to the center point, I'm going to click and I'm going to drag all the way to the center point of that dot. Okay. And just to exaggerate a little bit, this line right now, it has no fill and no stroke. So I'm going to take this stroke, which is the outline, and I'm going to take that and I'm going to just put about 18 points size on it, just so you can see this very clearly. Then I'm going to go over to the curvature tool, which is the tool right above the line segment tool. And what the curvature tool does is allows me to add points onto this line. And as I add those points, now I can go back to those points and I can drag those points into the center point of the dots that are already created there. And I can just drag right there, and it creates this nice curvy line that kind of takes you from point A to point B to point C and all the way down to the end. Okay. Now I'm going to change my stroke back to, let's say, 8 point, and change my color to my color scheme, which is this blue or even the dark blue, either one. And then I'm done. And I'll go back here and change my value to 50% in my navigator. And there we have formatted header and formatted methodology section.